We got to deal with life till the very, very end. Crazy. Whatever problems we might have, if we can't fix them, our only option is we got to just deal with it to the very end. It all goes back to like when I'm saying you don't like a certain thing, like a game or a TV show or whatever. You could just change the channel or turn the TV off altogether. But life itself, if you can't accept for what life is, what do? You got to just deal with it to the very end. You literally you have no exit. I mean, technically, I guess you do if you plan on, ending your life, which I don't recommend, even though life is really unbearable. But the thing is, that's the thing. People can't take this torment all the way to the end. It's just sometimes some people have it so bad that they just want to cut to the chase. And like I always say, I can't blame people like that, because we all know life is temporarily, but even though it's temporary, we still suffer for a pretty long period of time. At least it feels that way when you're suffering, I mean, that's how I looked at it, because I still do get bad anxiety, but when I had it bad, even worse back then, I felt like I was in a really long, fucked up loop, And sometimes I'm still in that loop. There's some flare up days, unfortunately. A couple of days ago, I actually started having a little anxiety. Not sure why, it just comes. Today, I'm all right. But, it's just something that I'm probably going to have for the rest of my damn life. But, my only option is I got to deal with it to the very end. Whatever problems we might have that may not be curable, we have no choice. We got to just deal with it to the very end. So that's like life itself. We got to literally deal with this bullshit to the very end. And that goes with a lot of things, like as I'm working, I got to work my whole life, pay bills to the very end of when I'm unable to do it, and basically when I die. If I get the chance to, let's say, retire, then I'm a little bit free from working. Sort of. Not entirely. Still got to pay bills and shit. And then that's what like I said in videos in the past, now I'm going to have to be at a doctor more because my body's not the way it used to be. It's more weaker and brittle. Instead of when I was in my nice prime energy doing, good things I wanted to do, I was just spending my time working like a friggin' machine, literally like a friggin' robot when we have robots. So in a way, yeah, life is just truly, not in a way, it definitely is. Life is pure hell because we all have problems in life. Some people have it worse than others. I could be suffering from something. Someone may not have it as bad. Someone may have it just as bad, if not worse. And there's just no way around it. We don't have options here. Our only options is we got to just continue the grind. We got to just continue to live on, but really we're just lingering, how I look at it as. We're just lingering here because we're not truly living the way we want to live. We're not feeling the way we may want to feel. Somebody's got some bad anxiety to the point where they can't function. I admit I was me a few years ago. Sometimes I still feel like I'm in that mess. And, let's say you got poor people that have cancer or some kind of disease that may not be treatable, no matter what they do, whatever chemo, whatever. And now it's like, now they just got to deal with it to the end, when you would just wish the end was now, I mean, it's just, in a way, it's truly heartbreaking because there's so many people in this world that are suffering from some kind of element. And plus, just with life itself, with financial, having to work, how you're going to be able to keep up paying bills, how you're going to be able to keep up affording for your needs. So it's like we're always just in constant pain here. It's not a true gift like they fucking say it is. You're not at ease here. We're always under some kind of pressure, whether it's health problems, being in pressure at that, or that on top of it with life itself having to be, a sheep. So it's like, truly, we're just here at pain. I don't feel like we're here living. We're just lingering here. We're just here. We all just feel like we're dumped into some kind of, how can I put it to this? We like I feel like we're all just dumped into some kind of dumpster or something, and then like now what do we do? Like what the hell? What is this place? How do we get out of here? What do we do about this? That type of reaction. Like a perfect example, if you catch a fly, you put them in the bottle. The fly's flying around like, where the hell am I? What is this? What is this place? How do I get the hell out of here? Is there any luck of me getting out of this or whatever? Just an example. But that's like how I feel with this life. It's like we're all here and then we just got to go through all this bullshit and there's literally no options at all. We just got to accept the harsh truth of what life is and still got to work and do whatever it takes for you to survive. Now, truthfully, like I said, I don't see that as living. I just see that as lingering. Like I just see it as, just trying to survive, but really you're not surviving in a good way. We want to live. We have dreams we truly want to do or whatever. And life itself and all that is taking all these dreams and stuff away from us because we're doing things we truly don't want to do. We have no choice. We're just being forced into it. And then plus the problems, health problems on top of it, mental health, terminal illness, shit like that, whatever, I mean, it's like like I keep saying, there's no at ease here. There's always something to be stressed about. Whatever it might be, there's multiple things to be stressed about. Main thing is money, health, relationships. I mean, the real main thing is really money. How we're gonna keep surviving, how we're gonna make it in this world. I mean, it's just so sickening to know that any one of us could just end up in the streets. Any one of us. We could be doing good now, then something could just tragically happen and our lives go upside down. Some people could have it good right now, sort of, and then something just terribly happens, whatever it might be. I mean, I'm just saying as an example, and then now look what happened. It's just crazy to know, like, that we're not cared for in any way, that no one would actually, like, try and help us. Instead, we'll just watch each other rot. That's all we'll do. A lot of homeless people walking by, we don't even do nothing about it. I mean, it's really heartbreaking. Really heartbreaking. And it's just, I'm lost with words. I actually seen this video with a homeless guy. When was this? A couple of days ago. I don't know when it actually happened, but I just seen the video. And they were treating him like shit. They're saying, get a job, do this or whatever. You freaking bum, you waste a life. Like saying all these things. Meanwhile, they slack to understand how hard it truly is. Think about it. This guy has nothing, the poor man. He's homeless. He has absolutely nothing. How could he easily just get a job? And then if, let's say he applies for a job, they're going to see that he's homeless and all that. And right there, that looks bad for the resume and all that, whatever the hell. And what ends up happening, he mainly won't even get hired. So it's like when you're in that situation, there's literally like, it feels like there's no hope. No one tries to help you. Very rare. But people that aren't in that situation, those spoiled people that aren't in that situation, they have no hesitation or any thoughts in mind of what that person's going through. So they'll just say to be little pricks and say, oh, you're a bum, get a job. You want money, work for it. Or, like just stupid shit like that. And those are the people you just almost wish it happened to those type of people so they could really feel of what that poor person was feeling. Then they'll really think twice before what they did. That's the thing. We're just cold-hearted sacks of meat, man. I mean, it's crazy how cold we could be towards each other. And I just don't see the real reason for it. Why do we treat each other the way we do? There's one thing I could just never understand. What is the satisfaction of it? It's like we like to feel cool or something. I mean, I don't know. I don't fucking know. But it's really, really pathetic, especially in a temporary life. And of course, even if life wasn't temporary, it's just still, what the fuck? I mean, what joy do we get out of this? Belittling one another, And it's funny. Well, it's not funny, but I mean, like, there's people out there that'll literally bully other people or make fun of well, same thing, I guess you could say, bullying, making fun of, fucking around with people. But if that happens to that person, it's a whole different story. He'll get all hurt or pissed off or whatever. But meanwhile, look what you're doing to that person. That's okay though, because you're not him or you're not her. So you're not feeling no pain, so who cares? You know? That's the attitude of people. They only care for their pleasureness. They only care for their needs, their happiness. And some people get joy because their life's so miserable out of making other people's lives miserable. So that gets them some kind of joy. Really, really fucked up shit, man. I can never understand humanity. And I don't think I'll ever be able to understand humanity. And I'm just being straightly honest. But yeah, I mean, it's just crazy how I know now I'm in this life and I just got to deal with this shit to the very end. And who knows when the end is. I don't know if anyone's familiar. This may be a little off topic, but there was actually, I don't know if anyone here is familiar with Tuckahoe Road in Yonkers. I usually drive there sometimes once in a while. I actually made videos of once driving on that road, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And yesterday, as of making this video, was yesterday, I believe, there was this crazy, I think he was like a 16-year-old with a permit or whatever the hell, and he was literally like going 80 miles per hour, lost control, crashed into a bus, and then I think next to the bus was a cop. Hit him, and he died. The cop died. And the crazy thing was, I think he had, if I'm not mistaken, it was another couple of weeks or a month from now for him to retire. And now that never happened. Instead, he's dead. He retired, all right. He retired from living, from life. So it's just, that goes to show you all this chasing and hustling and like running around like a chicken without a head to just not know when it might come to an end. And not only that, it's going to come to an end regardless. But it came to an end to him tragically. You know, I mean, it's not funny, but I mean, so that's why I say to myself, we do all these crazy friggin' things for what reward, what benefit, you know, and this is something I always like to just keep saying, and it's something I really am going to keep saying because it's the friggin' truth, bro. Like, what are we doing all this hard? Like, what are we doing all this for? What is this whole purpose here? To just one day be a friggin' dead body, man. Crazy. And then sometimes I say to myself, man, I could have been me that day if I drove on that road at that specific time. Because I swear, I drive on that road very often. Now, it's not like I'm wishing that it happened, but at the same time, if that did happen, I would have probably been dead and I would have been free from this world, you know? Now, it's not like I'm dark to the point where I want that to happen, but at the same time, if it happened, I guess I could say I'm at peace. The only thing I would miss here was actually miss helping people out watching these videos, you know, making people feel less alone and shit like that. But I would try to upload on YouTube as a ghost, probably. A little joke, but yeah, I mean, all seriousness, now he's dead. He never got his chance to retire. He did all that police work or whatever to just die. And it's just how everyone's life's going to really be. We're all just going to die. Yes, he would have still been alive if that idiot that didn't happen, you know, if that incident didn't happen. But still, doing all this chasing, running around like a chicken without a head, to literally just one day become dead. It's one thing I can never understand, like why we take things so seriously. Why we're mean to people. We treat each other like shit. The person could be here today, tomorrow could be a different story. And you know, like when people sometimes truly appreciate it when they're gone. When they're alive, yeah, whatever, but when they're dead, then you sort of feel some kind of remorse or whatever. I don't know. You feel some kind of sympathy or some shit. But it's crazy because then we just learn to move on. We just adapt. We adapt to everything in life. We get hurt. We get sad. We get emotional. But then eventually it's just a phase, and that phase one day just comes to an end. I don't know anymore. I mean, it's just humanity's just, I just look at a big giant question mark, like, what is the whole meaning of this, you know? I'm at a state of confusion, man. All kidding aside, I am. But I mean, it's just sadly a world where You got to literally have your back at all times. You got to watch your back. You got to have your back. And what I mean by watch your back, you get some crazy person out to try to slash you, shoot you, mug you, whatever, kidnap you. I mean, who the hell knows? Drug you. Heck, put acid on your face. I heard things like that. Some lady got that, unfortunately, and then crazy. She was pretty too, I think, and then that just ruined her whole life now. So it's like, we live a life of pain, and we got to deal with this to the very end. Sad. That's why I truly question people, and this is something I always want to keep friggin' mentioning because it's just the cold goddamn truth. How people would want to bring kids in this fucking thing, in this world. I mean, you just see how cruel it is, yet add another soul to it. Extinction really wouldn't be a bad thing because we'd be dead. We wouldn't have to experience anything once we're dead. Who cares? If we died and something may happen to the planet, would probably be in way better shape. And whether it is or whether it isn't shouldn't matter because we'll be long gone. What do we have to worry to care for? Who cares if the world burns or we're going to be dead we're going to be dead before that happens, Just an example, but so really extinction's something that should happen. It would be a good thing in a way. But a lot of people won't see it as a good thing. But hey, everyone has their own opinions, I guess. Nothing I can say there, but the other thing I find screwed up, people being called cowards for taking their own life. Now, truthfully, I have to disagree because, think about it, you're killing yourself. That takes guts, in my opinion. That takes balls. That takes courage. Because it's showing that you're not afraid of what's on the other side, if there is another side. We all don't truly know 100% what happens when we die. I mean, most likely it's just like what this light does time to time goes out, But nobody knows truly what's going to happen. Most likely nothing. Most likely, who knows? But we don't 100% know what happens, and yet we're still just willing to go that route to do it. Now, like I always say, I don't really want to recommend people to do that, but people that do it, I don't look at them as cowards. I look at them as brave because, think about it, it takes guts to do that. Me, personally, as much as I hate it here in this shithole, and not because I'm depressed, but just seeing because life itself is depressing, I don't have the guts to do it, truthfully, because I'm afraid, like, let's say I want to jump from a building or whatever. I just don't have the guts to actually, do it because I'm afraid of the impact. Now, I'm pretty sure, once you hit the impact, you're just dead. Maybe you feel like a split, and that's it. But still, it's just scary because, well, at least to me, because, I don't know, it's just falling and then knowing, you're seeing the ground literally go boom, and you're dead. And so it's frightening. A lot of people have what I like to call it is a safety barrier. And literally what this safety barrier does, it prevents you from doing that. It's like a part of you wants to do it, but the other part is preventing you from doing it. It's like a safety barrier that's preventing you, no, not happening. I want to, damn, I'm just scared. Like that, for example. Then you have people that actually bypass that safety barrier and they actually go through with it. Some succeed, some fail, and that's when they're called a suicide survivor. I mean, it's crazy. Me personally, I feel like I have that safety barrier and I can't escape. I can't turn it off. And now, me personally, I wouldn't say I'm suicidal. I never really, I thought about it. When I was in those bad times, I really thought about it, but I actually never planned it to do it. I never actually went to some place and it was just thinking, let me jump, I never came across to that. I mean, at the same time, I'd seen things of ways oh, wow, that's a good place to do it. But I never really planned to actually possibly do it. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. But it's truly understandable why people go that route, man. Some people just don't want to deal with it. You hate a certain show that's on, you change it. Or you turn the TV off altogether. There's nothing good on the TV or nothing good on the radio. You shut the radio off, or hey, you put Bluetooth or whatever, put your own shit on, Not everyone's going to like a certain thing. And that's like with life. It's like everybody's got to like life. Everyone's got to be happy in life. And that's not the case, unfortunately. Do I wish it was the case? Of course. But how could it be the case when life itself's unfair? Life itself's what causes all these illnesses, this depression, and all this bullshit, because life itself is a negative place, unfortunately. So truthfully, it's a no-win game here, I guess you could say. And the thing is, people, like I was just saying, people, look at you funny if you say, why are you talking like that for? You got a whole fucking life ahead of you. What the hell's the matter with you? You're only 13, you're talking these stupid ways or whatever. You get people like that. You got a whole life ahead of you. And just you saying that right there puts more anxiety and depression in that person, because they pretty much are fully friggin' aware that they got a whole life ahead of them. A whole curse ahead of them is how I look at it. You got a whole life of friggin' busting your ass, working, paying bills, paying taxes, busting your ass, working, paying this, paying that, phone bill, this bill, that bill, gas bill, whatever bill. And you got a whole life of it, a whole life ahead of it. That you got a whole life down the way of dealing with this shit. To the very, 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 very end. So yeah, we're fucking fully aware that we got a whole life ahead of us. And that's what's making us depressed. Because we know we got a whole life full of this pain, this friggin' sorrow, this friggin', this hell. This hell. Hearing all these depressing things on the news, seeing all these, and just knowing, my God, I got to go fucking decades and decades and decades here. And God only knows within those decades how much more worse it's going to get. It's already bad now. And you just know as the decades go by, it just literally every year proves to get worse. Instead of better, it's getting worse. So when people end up saying that you got a whole life ahead of you, it just makes me even more freaking angry and freaking pissed off, because, yeah, bro, I'm fucking familiar with that. I know I got a whole life ahead of me. That's the problem. I got to live this shit for God knows how long. You're lucky, motherfucker. You're like 70 years old. Maybe you just got one more, maybe 2 more decades tops, and you're a goner. Me, I'm 25, so I probably got to go like 8 more decades. I don't even know how many more friggin' decades. But I know it's probably, unfortunately, a lot more. And like I said, I'm not suicidal. It's not like I'm going to plan to commit suicide or anything like that. But it's just knowing, though, at the same time that I got to deal with this shit for God knows how much more. It's depressing in a way, because, like I said, life itself is depressing. People to not see that, I don't know. Hey, everyone sees things differently, I guess, but it shouldn't really take a rocket scientist to see that this ain't no gift, this ain't no beautiful place. It could probably be a beautiful place if we all treat each other respectfully. It didn't have to be literally suckers to some rectangular piece of fucking paper, at least for your every little move. Maybe if some things cost money, I can understand, but every little thing, literally starving. You're starved because you don't have money. You're freeze to death if you're in a cold climate because you don't have money. What a big boo-boo humanity done, man. Anyway, guys, probably going to call it a night there. On the previous video I made, I actually put a link on the Discord. So if anyone's still willing to join the server, click on that video. And if I don't reply right away, I'm not always on it every second like this. Sometimes I'll get off it. Sometimes my phone's low, or sometimes, I'm just doing other things. So it's like I'm not ignoring anyone in case anyone's thinking that. But at the same time, for what I look for it as, for company for me, because there is times I'm going to pop in there and try to talk to as many people as I can see. And for you guys to actually communicate with each other, hopefully no trolling and shit like that. Although I can't promise this, this is the internet. You're always going to get that one fool that's going to be a dumbass, unfortunately. And what could you do? But hopefully we do find a lot of relatable people that, we could actually discuss, try to relate. It's like therapeutic, I guess you could say. But yeah. Anyway, guys, love you all. Going to let you go for now. We'll be making more soon. If you got any more video topics to possibly talk about in the future, please leave them down below. And if I do see it, I will screenshot it. If I heart it, that means that I seen it. and I'm pretty much most likely going to make that video at some point. May not be today, maybe months from now, but at some point I will try and make that request. You know, if I don't heart it, then that means most likely I didn't see it. Because like I said, YouTube is stupid sometimes. Sometimes there's comments that I don't see for like months or weeks. Then it's vice versa. Sometimes I'll see a comment right away. Just 30 seconds ago, I'll actually see it. Strange. YouTube does whatever the hell it wants to do. It has a mind of its own. But anyway, guys, I'm going to literally let you guys go for now. Hope everyone's doing as best as possible. Stay well. Stay blessed as best as possible in the shithole of a world that we call planet effing Earth. And yeah, signing off.
Peace out.